guys, Molly here from Discover the Big Island Real Estate. I'm here with my friend and referral partner, Michael from the east side of Hawaii. Today, we're going to be talking about a very special success story that we just had. A client that just closed in Paradise, Michael.
Oh yeah.
The this family came through online, and they were looking for property, and they were quickly to connect with Michael, and Michael was the connection and the person that made it happen for this very special family. Michael, do you want to share a little bit more about how the search went, and initially what they were looking for, and how did they decided on the location first of all, and then the type of property that they ended up getting?
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot to take in all at once, but we'll do the best that I can with that one. Yeah, no, I mean, thanks to you, we made introductions, and I think the initial emails that came through, there was one or two that came through, and then all of a sudden we 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 were communicating, and it said, "We're here. We're ready to start looking." And I was like, "Okay, let's go." So, reached out, had conversation, met with the couple. I would say the interesting story for them that they had actually made the move over, and not everybody has the opportunity to do that. They were fortunate enough to have a short-term rental while they were here, but that also put them into a timeline in order to find, a property. Some short-term rentals, whether it's a VRBO or whatever, might have a limit of a few months that you can stay there. So knowing what closings are and stuff like that, we had to hit the ground running.
Right.
But the beauty was that they were doing their homework, and I applaud them. They, they get a gold star in my book for looking each night at the MLS, what's new, driving around, going and looking at the houses first, and then we would have conversation, and we might pick two or three or four to go take a look at. And that is something not everybody has the luxury to do. But at the
Right.
same time, the pressure was on, right? Because we
Right.
had to find something. Um, like some couples are here and they may be here for a week looking. So we're able to line up a half a dozen showings, and you go out and they pick a house. Well, you know, you're hopeful that that couple, would have had the time to explore and find an area that, as we always say, feels like home.
Right.
So I think this gave them the opportunity to do that and really, just find something that really, really felt like home for them. And we looked at a lot of homes. I would probably say 30 plus homes, if not more. And they looked at more than that because they were doing the drive-bys. And it was really about finding that special place, um, one that felt like home, but it offered them everything that they were looking for. You know, the husband wanted a workshop, the husband or the wife wanted a bathtub, and loved the trade winds.
Hmm.
So, uh, it's finding that special place that would offer a lot of those. And they also wanted, like most people do, they wanted to have opportunity, a place for their guests to come stay. And so we
Right.
were looking for, an ohana, and not all properties do. So that kind of narrowed, some of the focus a little bit. But we were able to get out there, and I just remember getting a phone call saying, we would like to go look at this house. So we made made the appointment, went out, took a look at it, probably spent 2+ hours
Wow.
there, and just had good conversation. We're out on the lanai, just looking at things. If memory serves me correct, I think we ended up going back to the house, take another look at it, um, and then from there made an offer. And at the end of the day, Friday night came, and I was able to call and congratulate them and let them know that our offer was accepted, um, which was which was really a good feeling, and I was
Right.
very, very happy for them that they found that place. in that time period, I should say, that they even had an opportunity to go to the property, stand at the fence, look at the house, but at the same time met the neighbors.
Right.
It was golden. And we've talked about that before, that's where it starts. You get to know the neighbors, you have that conversation, you make that connection, and the rest is just history. Now we just wait for the furniture to arrive.
That's
And
crazy, Michael. And I think what you said about them doing the homework early and really, really paying attention to the neighborhoods was key
mhm,
to
mhm,
their homing in to the subdivision that they wanted eventually, and then
mhm,
saying, you know what, Michael, let's just go ahead and put in an offer. This is the one. And then getting it
mhm.
accepted and going under contract and, going through
Yes,
all the motions of the escrow. But in essence, what triggered it all was the homework that they were doing. Right, they were observing each neighborhood, they were observing all the properties that were coming on online, and they were really like exploring it all. Right.
exactly. Exactly. And we had our hits and misses along the way of certain criteria that just we wanted to do our best to meet.
Right.
Not always all that successful with it, and at some point in time you have to ask yourself, okay, what's the trade-off? What's it going to be? And
Right.
something has to give a little bit, so there's a compromise. This was a case where yeah, a few things did. I would say, you know they weren't particularly interested in being on an unpaved road, but we're on an unpaved road, and it's not that far off pavement. Um,
Right.
Having stairs to get to the main level of the house was not a particular interest.
Mm-hmm.
However, you know, the house offered all the other components that
That they were looking
allowed them.
for.
Okay, yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, I can give up that one thing for this, and I think that's key. A lot of folks, when we first interact with them, they'll give
Yes.
you their wish list of 5 things, and you know like, yeah, I would love to find all of that for you, but I don't think I can find something that has all of those components. So now let's go out and look, and then we can continue to have that conversation of, okay, well, what of those things might you be willing to give up?
Right.
um,
That is such an important conversation that that I also implement with my clients, Michael. What you just touched on, to have clients' expectations, really at its priority, right? To get them exactly what they want, but also opening up the window to say, well, if we cannot find these items, what are the things that you're willing to let go, right?
mhm,
And that's how you start homing in into what it is that could potentially work long term,
mhm.
right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, if you can, you know, I may get folks to write it down on paper. We didn't
Yep.
necessarily do that on this route, but we did talk about them. And I remember going to one of the showings, and I had all of the criteria just out on little Post-it notes, and said,
Right.
"Okay, well, this is what we're looking for. This is what this house has to offer." And you kind of move things around during the search. So
Right.
it was a success story.
You know what I love doing at the end of the transactions? I like to send out that list, and say, remember, did we hit it all? And
Yes.
I think it is so it's part of the job. Personally, I'm pretty sure for you too, that we
Hmm.
love, right? We love,
Yes.
getting people to the end goal, but
Yeah.
also knowing that we have accomplished their goals. And this couple, for example, they were stoked, right, to finally get a
Okay.
home in paradise and be out of that very time frame, like strict time frame situation that they were in with the rentals. And now they have a
Hmm.
place to call home, and they're living in paradise, and they're enjoying. And you mentioned to me earlier that you saw them and they gave you a
I
gift.
did. I went down today to bring an air mattress because they're waiting for some furniture to arrive. So I had
Right.
one lying on it, and I got to say, when I left,
uh,
they with some bananas. So
For
I,
anybody watching this video, those are apple bananas, Michael.
these
I mean,
golden,
I do
golden.
not. have those at home. I love them. You can freeze them. You can put them in your smoothie. They're like so delicious. But so you have really good goodies in your home right
Yes,
now.
yes. Well, you know what's funny is when we went for one, I mean, this whole experience I look at as a journey, and I'm just grateful that they took me along with them on
Oh,
that journey,
Michael,
and we
you're
could be there.
amazing. You're
So
so amazing.
that's key. But one thing I will say is that the final walkthrough, there were bananas on a tree on the property, and they were ripe, ready to be
Wow.
cut down. So I'd asked the other agent, "Hey, do you mind if I go back and get my machete so that we can cut it down?" Well, it just so happened that the seller came, and she was with her handyman.
Wow.
And I asked him, I said, "Hey, perchance, do you have a machete?" And I asked her, "Do you mind if we cut these down?"
All
She's like, "By
right.
all means." And
Go
so
for it.
we cut them down, and we all had some bananas and everything. It was just a really great moment, and you make that little bit of connection then with your property on day one. It was
That
great.
is beautiful. And I think, for most of our clients, that's like everybody's dream, right? To go green and be
Hmm.
self-sustainable and have some sort of fruit trees on property. And
Hmm.
having those apple bananas, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
that's such a blessing. And I'm so stoked for the clients, Michael. I'm very grateful that you were able to serve them and help them get the property that they wanted. And yeah, I mean, they're stoked. They're so happy, I'm sure,
Oh, it was, yeah, they are, and I can't wait to see what they do with
with the
their
property.
property. I know we had some time to talk the day that we closed. I met them there with the keys, and uh, we had some treats and some champagne, and just had great conversation for uh, well over an hour.
Oh, Michael,
It,
we're getting hearts right now.
it was just really great, and so I just can't wait. And they were telling me stories of some of the things they collect and stuff like that, and I can't wait to see how they just decorate the house inside. I know it's going to be a really great space. So
Right. That is so beautiful, Michael. Well, you were wishing these clients well, and more people in paradise is it's a blessing.
mhm,
That people are able to transition. They're informed on the property that they're getting. They're informed on the locations. We're able to provide many resources to all of our
mhm,
buyers.
mhm.
But especially for these people, they're super happy to be out of renting and they're now enjoying property in
Yeah.
HPP.
Yes. Oh, it's a great location, close to the ocean. I think when I was there today, we could actually hear the waves crashing. It was
Wow.
quite
I
nice.
mean, how crazy, right?
Yeah.
Going
Yeah.
from a situation of like, oh my gosh, we got to get out of this rental to like ownership and
Hmm.
then enjoying your apple bananas right off
Yeah.
the tree every
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yes. That's
Wow.
great. Yeah.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah.
So Michael, Michael was able to send me a couple of MLS listings that we're going to be sharing with the
Yeah.
audience today. So I am currently going onto the back end of the MLS and searching. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up this shared window
Hmm.
so you guys can see the screen.
Yeah. So I
We
always
are
have a
in
theme.
Plumera Road, my
Yeah. I
favorite
always
road
have.
ever. Love
Yeah.
Plumerias.
Well, I will preface that I do usually have a theme for some of our properties, and today's was, we do get a lot of requests, especially here on the east side, for people that I'm just going to call them value priced homes, anything under $200,000. Now, a lot of folks
Yes.
don't realize that homes in that price range do exist, but they may also be cash offers just because the house itself may not be permitted or permits might not be completed, something to that effect. This house is in Nanavale Estates. It's in Lava Zone 2. I think it shows really well. They're smaller lots in the neighborhood. I think they're 8,000 square foot lots, um, but convenient location to Pahoa for
Right.
shopping and such. There's a new Malama market in town. It looks like it's been refreshed with some wood floors and some fresh painting inside. So it really looks move in ready. And for somebody, I hate to say it, but it does list that it is cash sale. And as I said, some of that could be unpermitted. This one looks like it's very well constructed, so the cash, uh, what the seller's asking for with cash just might be their request, which sellers can do. Um, but nice flat level lot. Um, if sometimes I feel like for folks, it's like, hey, if it gets you here, you know, and
Right.
you can swing it, that it gets you here. But we do get a lot of requests for homes at the lower price range.
Right. One thing that I have to point out here, the floorings are
Mhm.
so beautiful.
They are.
They did such a great job with the flooring. Really cute house, and just like you said, it's a small landing pad, right?
Mhm.
It's something under 200,000, and Plumeria Road. I mean, I love that name of
Yeah.
that street name. It's a 3-2. It's advertised as a 3-2 and built 2010 in Puna. Okay, so let's go on to our next MLS listing here. Oh, I may be missing a number. Let's see, 66108. I have here, Michael.
666-108.
666.
Sorry about that.
No, don't worry about it. Okay, here we go. Ooh.
Yeah. So this property is located in a neighborhood called Eden Rock, or when we do our searches, it's Hawaii's Eden Rock Estates. They're all 1 acre parcels. It is on Ohia Avenue, which is one of the paved roads. Um, and it might be a little bit more towards the front of the neighborhood, if I remember correctly. But a small, little unpermitted, off grid structure. You can see the road there is paved and maintained, and there's the gate going onto the property. For some folks that are looking at properties here, especially on the east side, they might be surprised to see that their driveways are just the ground.
Right.
It does cost a lot to put down concrete or pavement, so sometimes that's just what you get, unless if you
Right.
put in the gravel. Um, but it's little. It's a just a small little space, and if somebody's looking for like a little weekend getaway, or again, I want to be here, and then I want to spend time looking for something. Maybe look to buy the adjacent parcel next door, and build another house. Just some
Right.
opportunity for you.
This is pretty cute.
Yeah,
A
I think that's
little.
a little loft area for where the bed
Yeah.
would. Yeah, yeah. Tiny, not big, but for us, we tend to spend a lot of our time outside anyway. So,
Right.
you know,
This is
storage under.
this is so beautiful. Oh, Amen Kamal says greeting. I visit Big Island last year. Let me add it to the broadcast here. It says I visit the Big Island last year this time and was around Pahoa area. How interesting you're all going over properties around that area. I truly enjoyed my time there, plus the hot springs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so glad, Eamon, that you're enjoying the preview of this listing and that you're also exploring this area. If you do need help, feel free to send over your information and we'll be more than happy to help. But yeah, this property is really cute. And like you said, it's just a small little landing pad,
yeah.
in Puna. It's got the cashmere
There's.
water
Yeah,
there.
I mean, we were looking at
Wow.
some of the pictures. There's space underneath the house. They've got a little dining table. You could, you know, finish that out if need be for additional living space if you wanted.
Right.
Just, it's perfect. Um,
Yeah, no, this is beautiful. And what I love about properties that are in this area is that, they're kind of like they're in the middle of the jungle. And they're
hmm
so, I mean, it's like nothing you've ever seen. You're
Yeah.
there in the middle of nowhere, it's like it's a place for peace and quiet for sure.
It is. I sold a property just down the street
Mhm.
from here recently, and I just remember standing on the property, and you could hear the wind in the trees,
Oh.
and it was just beautiful, and I just wanted just to stand there. It reminded me of uh, times years ago. I had a vacation house back in Seattle, and it was right on a lake. And at the end of the season, you would go to the lake and it would be just eerily quiet. But it was at the same time, it was just, you just wanted to stand there and just take it in. You could
Right.
hear the trees and, the smells, everything was just right there for you. It was
That is
nice. And this,
beautiful.
yeah.
That is
So
gorgeous. Yeah, and like you said, oh, you have some hearts. It says here, Amen. It says, I'm very interested and looking forward to moving one day. My friend from high school moved recently, and weather and vibes are immaculate. Oh, we're so glad that your friend moved, and we're hoping that you make the move in the future as well. So he has a question. Let me add it on here. It says, are there any rules on Pahoa side for architects building and designing home? What a great question. My cousin is an architect from Dubai, and I told her about the idea about somewhere in Hawaii.
yeah, well, so if you're looking for something like that, you want to build a permanent home, which one I think is a good idea. I mean, you can get homeowners insurance on it. If depending on where the property is, you can connect to the electrical grid. Should you want to do that?
Right.
But if you've got somebody that is an architect, as long as they've got a Hawaii license, they could stamp the drawings to submit to the
To the
county.
planning department. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now we do have some folks here in town that will do that, and I see a lot of the drafters in town. They take their drawings to one gentleman. His name's Robert Smelker, and
Hmm.
he's in Oahu, but he comes over here from time to time, and he will supervise and then stamp drawings and get them in for permit. So. For your cousin, it might be something that they want just to look in to see what it would take for them to get a license in Hawaii,
Right.
because then you can do the drawings and the work for you. Maybe save a little bit of money along the way. That might be something to look at. But if you have questions on who to contact, please reach out to me. Let me know. I can get you uh, some information for the American Institute of Architects. And I say that because I was a registered architect. I've recently let my license lapse, but I made that transition from Seattle when I came here and got my license. It was a very easy process to do.
Yes, and amen. I'm so glad that you were able to let us know if that was clear enough, or if
Mhm.
you have any other questions. He has another question here, Michael. It says, so blueprints have to be approved. Let me add it to the broadcast. It says, I've heard about a rule about home not being higher than palm trees.
I don't know about that. That would take some
Yeah,
research.
that
Um,
I know Kauai. I know in Kauai that is something that is said very often. Um, but yeah, that's something that we will need to double check on.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, feel free to reach out. So okay, so let's move on to our next listing here that we have, and this is another one of your list of properties under 200,000. Let's see. Boom. Okay.
Yeah, so this property is in Fern Forest Vacation Estates. They are 3-acre parcels. The lay of the land for this one is, some people call them the spaghetti lot. So they're maybe like 120 foot, 125-foot frontage by however many feet deep they are, 871 feet, something like that, to make up that 3 acres. Um, but this one, it's my understanding, it's not a permitted structure, but it's one of the HPM models that they have, just a little studio. Um, I talked to the agent once before. I was going to go show it, and then I had clients that just they chose not to continue their search. So we just put a pause on everything for a while. But I
Mm,
thought, I mean, 3 acres for that price point is pretty good. It seems to be built pretty solid. Um, it is on, like I said, it's in Fern Forest Vacation Estates, and they do a really good job maintaining the roads in the
right.
neighborhood. I see their crews out from time to time, spreading gravel and stuff like that. So that's good to see. Um,
And and from what I've heard, they have a very active community
Yes.
of yeah, they have a very active community there.
And
This
you're close to volcano, so it's higher
Yeah.
elevation, much higher. So you're gonna have cooler nights, but very close to volcano for the farmers market and some really nice restaurants, things like that.
I love the cabin feeling, right? It kind of
Hmm.
feels like a cabin inside here.
Hmm.
Like it looks so cute.
I love the ceiling, like that tongue and groove
Right. They did
like
such
that
a
is
great
just
job there. And
really
like you
nice.
said, of course we're looking at the pictures, but it looks like a solid house
Yeah,
from the
yeah. I mean,
pictures.
one of one of the things, if somebody wants more information, I'll go
Yes.
out there, take more pictures, take some videos, that in the surrounding area. Um,
Yeah, this is such a great find, Michael. This is such a great find. And like you said, if anybody's interested in exploring it further, one day
mhm.
on the market, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is gonna go like
Well,
fast or
actually, so they had it. It was actually higher priced a while back, and so the agent owns this house and the property next door, which had a house and an ohana, and they were hoping somebody would have bought all of them together. Which, I mean, if somebody wanted a large place, multi generational layout, like 6 acres, for under $400,000, I think total price was
wow,
a steal. But this one, so I think they took this off the market and then just you can take it off for 30 days and then it
and then
recirculates
relist it?
on the market. And they lowered price to 179. I think before it was 199, something like that,
Oh, you can
if
probably
I
look
remember
here.
correctly.
Right. And so now they have it. Oh, let's see, 199 they had it.
Yeah. And I was surprised that it did, at that price point it didn't sell at 199. But not everybody's got $200,000 cash, and that's what we were talking about.
Right.
It's just because of the way the houses, that price point just may not be some achievable for everybody. But um, for some, if they can, home equity line of credit, talking to credit union to make up some balance, talk to friends and family. There's a way to make it
Right.
work. You just
Right.
gotta do a little bit of legwork. Um,
Right.
yeah,
Well,
these.
if you guys like exactly like you said, if you do not have the cash funds available, there's always creative ways on making it happen, right? Either pursuing, a line of credit somewhere or getting owner financing.
Right, right.
Yeah,
I just recently heard from one of the lenders that, let's say that you wanted to rent this property out. It's unpermitted, so property management company might not take it on.
right.
But if you're on island and wanted to rent it and wanted to get a loan, they will you can qualify based on what the projected rental income would be for the
Yeah,
property. And that's
right.
something, if people want more information on, reach out to Mally or myself and we can introduce you to the lenders who can talk a little bit more about the programs that they offer.
Right, right. That's such a great idea, Michael. You're right. There's also the projectile of rental income that
Hmm.
can be added
Yeah. Yeah,
onto the loan projections.
right. And I had
Oh,
not heard of that in a while, but I would say
a
one.
lot of things are coming back in this market. Right?
Well, you're exactly right. And I'll say one of the last, we just had a meeting the other day, and one thing that was coming up, they're starting to see a little bit more seller financing.
Yep.
I don't see it a lot, but it is, and seller financing was first put in place when interest rates were really, really high, and folks could not qualify for a loan. So it was an easy way
Right.
for them to get into a house. In a couple of years, they can refinance. They've got the cash, they can get that loan, and move forward. So we're starting to see some of that with interest rates going up. So there are opportunities. There's creative ways that we can work, and work with lenders to put that deal together for you.
Right. We just need to know your end goals, right? Your
Mhm.
financing requirements, and then we just go to work.
Yep.
All right. Well, Michael, do you have any final thoughts for the audience? We have a couple of people here watching us.
Oh, no, just happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, it's coming
It,
up. If you guys have
it
any
is.
fun plans, feel free to let us know in the comments or shoot us an email. It says, "Hi, Michael and Molly. Good seeing you guys. Still waiting for my plans to get approved. I'm getting so impatient." Oh, you know what? On this platform, I'm unable to see your name.
Oh, I think we
Who
know who it
who do you
is.
think? Who do you think that might be?
Debbie. Hi, Debbie.
Debbie. Oh. Debbie, if this is you, let us know because I cannot see your name. But I'm so glad that you're here
Yeah,
in this live stream, and
yeah,
we're so happy for you,
yeah.
and happy for all the people watching and getting a hold of us. But Michael, it's been a pleasure speaking with you in regards to these listings and in regards to, oh yeah, Debbie, I see your name now. Hey girl.
Yes, we haven't talked in a while, but be patient with those plans. Good things take time, so
Yes.
we know that they will get done, and you'll soon be on your way here. So we're
Yes.
excited.
We have to have you on the show, Debbie. I will love, love, love to have you and share your experience so far with island living and everything in between. But, for now, we say aloha. Michael, thank you so, so much for sharing all of your beautiful thoughts and the success story with these clients. And it's always a pleasure speaking with you, my friend.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me. Like I said, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I guess we'll talk to you right after the holiday.
Yes. Debbie says, I'll be calling you so we can catch up soon, Michael.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, guys, we're wrapping it up. Thank you so, so much for being here, and we'll be in touch. You guys know where to find us.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Aloha.
Aloha.